Okay, so now that we've got the grid drawn and we have all of the randomization working properly for the positions of all of the other parts of the game, what we need to do now is make it so that the player can move. And there's two ways we could do this, but the way I'm going to show you is probably the easier way of doing it. But first of all, we need to check that we're going to build a boundary check, which is to say that because we have an array here, and we're going to be moving it so that the player can move left, up, right and down, we need to make sure that they can't go outside of the playing area. And the playing area is currently defined as being from 0 to 5 in both directions. And so we need to make sure that it's not less than 0 and it's not equal to 6, which is simple enough. Okay, so what we need to do now is just do min width is equal to 0 and min height is equal to 0. And if we do new x is less than min height, min width, or then it's going to be new x is equal to self.max width. And the reason why it's self.max width, remember, is because whilst it's number 5, because it goes from 0 to 4 is the way that the array works. Number 5 is actually outside of the boundary, so we just need to check whether or not it's equal to it. And then we do the same for the y, which is min height, or new y is equal to self.max height. And here we just do return false, else return true. And if it returns true, then it's within the boundary and we can continue as we wish. Now we need to pass in the new x and new y, and that is that done. Now what we need to do is we need to make it so that the player can move. So we're going to do def player move, and this is going to pass in choice, and we're going to pass in the choice at a later date in a different video. However, we are going to build in the mechanism for the character to be able to move at the moment. So if we do what the current x value is of the character, so it's self.character position of 0, and also the current y is equal to self.character position of 1. Then if choice, and remember we're using WASD, but you can change this to be different keys if you want. And I'm also going to make it so that it doesn't matter what case you're using, whether it's upper or lowercase. Then I'm going to do if self.check boundary for current x and current y minus 1. Now that minus 1 is important because what we're doing here is w, which is going to be moved upwards, and because the array works as top left is 0, 0 and bottom right is maximum, maximum, then as we go down the y-axis gets greater, and as we go up the y-axis gets less, and so we need to do minus 1, and then we just need to do false there, and we need to check whether or not that is equal to false. I'm going to do else, and then we're going to do self.character position is equal to current x, current y minus 1. And that is all that we need to do. Oh, well, we also need to return true. And that is everything we need to do here, except for we need to repeat it for A, S and D. So if you wish to, you can stop the video at this point to do it yourself, or you can continue alongside me as well. It's your choice. Now these are the bits which you need to check on, is the current x and the current y. With each of these changing, you need to make sure that you get the right idea. So A is where you move to the left, and the left hand side, remember, is the minimum is where 0, 0 is, and so it's current x minus 1. And then I'm just going to copy this bit over. and this is now going to have -1 here, and that is going to be as it was. And there appears to be a problem here, but I can't quite see why. Okay, it's fine. I just indented it one too many spaces. If we move that space, there we go, that works fine. So now if I copy and paste this over twice, and we just need to change the values, so S, and now S is moving down, so if we put current Y +1, and that will work fine for that. And then finally the last one is D, which is to move to the right, which is X +1, and that will work perfectly fine. And there's one last thing we need to do, is just put an else, and that is if they put a different value in instead, then it's going to be return false. And that is how we make a character move. Now we need to get the user's input on this, and that will be done in the next video.